Hi, this is Trisha from Lemon Paper Lab. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use one of my pattern starter templates. This is template C, and it is designed in a 7200 pixels by 7200 pixels with a 1:1 ratio. This template will be available to download in my Patreon page. I also have this template and more in my Ultimate Pattern Maker Toolkit for Photoshop, which includes all of my Photoshop templates and actions to help improve your workflow when designing in Photoshop. And I will leave a link in the description below to both my Patreon page and this toolkit. Here I have my template opened, and here in the layers panel you'll see the object, smart object that we will edit, and then we just have the template folder of the different repeats. So let's go ahead and double click on this smart object here. And what we see here is that we have just our placeholder here in the back, which you can turn off the visibility there. And then we see 4 repeats, 3 repeats, 2 repeats. And these can be turned on and off depending on how many repeats you want here. And then we have another smart object, which we will double click into. And then this is where you can edit your line. Here you'll also notice we have a couple of reference layers here. This is the size reference if you wanted to do a 4 repeat, if you wanted to do a 3 repeat, or if you wanted to do a 2 repeat. That is the width in which you could go to create your line or shape or whichever you want to do. So let's try it with a 3 repeat here. So we'll turn that on as our reference there. So let's use the pen tool. Accessing the pen tool here, right click, you see the keyboard shortcut is P. And then I'm just going to start by clicking to create our line here. Here at the top I have no fill, stroke is set to black, and then you can play with the sizing of it. So let's keep it a small one, but I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this one. I'm going to hit return first, that way I finish off that line, and then I'm just going to duplicate it, Command or Control J to duplicate the layer. And then we'll access our move tool here, and I'm just going to bring it to the side. And then we'll just drag it to align it on our canvas here. So let's see how this looks with our pattern. So I'm going to turn off the visibility of this reference layer here, and then we need to save this smart object, Command or Control S. And then let's jump in to our original smart object. So we see our 2 repeated layers here, and then we'll save this one as well, Command or Control S. And then we will jump in to our original, and we can see our repeats. I'm going to go ahead and zoom out. So I'm going to go Command or Control with the minus key, and then let's just turn on our pattern preview mode. I'm going to go to View, Pattern Preview, and then you can see how it repeats here. So here's our first variation with the patterns panel open here. So if you do not see your patterns panel, you can open it from Window and select Patterns here. Here at the bottom, just hit that plus icon so you can save your pattern, give it a name, clicking on OK, and then we can see our new swatch there. So we see it with our 2 repeats. Let's jump back into the smart object, and you could always turn it off to see if you want 3. In this case, we can even do 4 repeats. So let's save this, Command or Control S. We'll jump back into our repeat here, and then we can save this pattern here as well. So we'll hit that plus icon. We can save this version. While we're here, let's even save the version 3 as well. So we'll save this, Command or Control S. Jumping back in, we'll go ahead and save this version here as well. So let's just test these in a new document. So I'm going to go to File, New. We'll use the size of digital scrapbook paper, which is 3600 pixels by 3600 pixels, resolution 300 pixels per inch. Clicking on Create. And then I'm going to bring up a pattern fill layer here. And then just from here, let's select our pattern. I'm going to double click, and then let's just scale it down. Let's try 10% here. And then let's add a solid color fill layer here. Let's just go white FFF. We'll drag that to the back. We'll duplicate that layer, Command or Control the J, and then I'll just drag this up, and then we can pick a color. We'll just go with black for the moment, and then I'm going to create a clipping mask. So we're going to right click, create clipping mask, so we can color our pattern here. And we can check out the different variations we did. So here was our 2 repeat, we can look at our 3 repeat, or we can look at our 4 repeat. So this one is definitely more busy. So depending on how you like the look of it, you can select between the different ones. This is just kind of a fun template to work with. So let's jump back into the Smart Object. And then I will turn off the visibility of these layers here. Let's start with a fresh one. Let's access our brush tool here. Let's use our symmetry tool. For this, I'm going to use the dual axis symmetry line here. And then I'm just going to drag it to fill our space top and bottom. And then we can click on OK. I've got my brush tool selected. If we hit the drop down, we can see that it is a hard round brush. And then you can always change the size of it with the left or right bracket key here. And then I'm just going to hit D on the keyboard just to get my default color here. And then here at smoothing, I'm going to bring this up to 100% just so I can get a smoother line. And then I'm just going to start creating just a design here. Just something simple. And then let's see how this looks. So I'm going to go Command or Control S to save it. We'll jump into this object here, and we can see with our 3 repeats that that is too much, but we can try it with our 2 repeats here. So let's save that, Command or Control S, and then we can see it in our pattern here, and then we can define our pattern. Clicking on OK, and then we can test it, see how it looks, give it a different color maybe. Just picking from some pre-selected colors here. You can change the foreground and the background. You can play with the colors that way, and so we can see our pattern. So this template could be used with something as simple as just lines, but you can also create organic shapes as well, and it will create our repeat. I hope you enjoy using this template and exploring the different possible ways you can use it to create your own fun, unique patterns. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and leave me a comment below. This is Trisha from Lemon Paper Lab. See you next time.